Hey, Disney fans, investors, CultureCasino fans, everybody. As Disney gears up for its quarterly earnings report before the bell rings on Wednesday, there's a lot on the line. From the parks and cruises to their streaming service updates, we've kind of got an outside idea of what they're going to talk about. So let's dive into what you need to know. First up, let's talk about Disney's experiences. It seems to be the biggest segment, of course. It's what includes things from the theme park experiences to their luxurious cruises and anything in between. Analysts, of course, are expecting some big things here, especially since the world has been craving some post-pandemic fun. And while that seemed to work before, this may not be the singular focus on this quarter. In fact, this may be the weakness, believe it or not. It's not going to be a segment that's going to help with a turnaround, at least not in this last quarter, and certainly not in the next. So why are investors eyeing the parks and experiences? Well, the parks and resorts have always been a major revenue driver for the company in billions of dollars. Like 70% of what they rely on usually comes out of this segment. So from attractions to cruises to international resort travel and all of the things in between, that used to be the star of the show. Plus, they just launched some Tokyo-based cruise ships and some other locations that Iger sees a lot of opportunities in for growth, at least domestically and internationally, although he's spending way too much money in China, but that's a different conversation. What we really need to focus on is the reveal of those numbers in this quarterly earnings call. So now let's look at some expectations, because analysts expect Disney's revenue to hit about $23.02 billion, with a net income projected at $1.83 billion, or about $1 a share. And that's a significant swing from a loss of $460 million, or 25 cents a share, just a year ago, year over year. But what could be driving that comeback, and could it fall short? Good question. See, Disney is relying on the financial comeback driven by all of these experiences. The problem is we already know that they've lost a significant number of park guests, and if it's anything in line with the expectation of what happened with Universal, you're going to see more than a 10% fall off in park attendance alone. So analysts are expecting to come in at $8.5 billion, representing a 5% growth from a year ago, but they are also prepared to be disappointed. Could this be an anchor that stabilizes Disney earnings? Well, it doesn't seem likely, but we'll find out on Wednesday. Disney Plus has been a hot topic, especially with their recent NBA deal. And this move could bring a whole new audience to their platform. It'll also drive people over to the other streaming product that they're offering in that partnership deal, Venue. Is that going to help them with competition? Hard to know, and we're going to explore those implications and what it means for subscribers if you happen to be one. It's been said, even by me, that the streaming wars are over, but with competitors like Netflix and HBO, well, Max anyway, Disney really needs to stay ahead. Recent movie releases like Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2 could certainly help to prop up this particular part of streaming, at least since none of their originals seem to catch fire, at least not based on the Nielsen ratings of late. In fact, you can check that out in a video up here. But Disney Plus and all of the other things need more stuff, like sports. So can the NBA actually help out with this? In fact, I have to ask you, would that actually impact your viewing experience? Would you go to Disney Plus to watch live sports? Because that's what they're counting on. Real quickly, we have to go back to the Disney Seas. You see, Disney cruises have set sail again in a big way, and the bookings are getting bigger and bigger. In fact, the travel agencies that I'm familiar with are reporting that most people are focusing in on cruises rather than on theme park resort vacations. That could be a big difference. So could this actually anchor what has been kind of a weak spot for Disney of late? Will this help Disney earnings in that parks and experiences area, or are they going to have to get help from somewhere else? The only thing to add about this particular segment is that the Tokyo-based cruise ship is going to change things for the better. It's going to offer a separate away vacation on top of a cruise experience for most people that are traveling from North America. It'll also bring in a group of customers that probably haven't ever cruised before. But Japan absolutely does change things, and it may bring more people into a cruise vacation than we've ever seen before. The question is it going to be enough to make good on the deficit that they're experiencing inside of the theme parks? And that's the biggest question, especially in Florida, the crown jewel of theme park resort destinations. So what should we be watching for as far as Disney's earnings report? Strong performance in parks and cruises, a boost from Disney Plus, or the overall financial comeback? I think these three elements are the only aspects that could actually fluctuate in a positive way for Disney, because their entertainment offerings in film and television really haven't helped out very much in the last quarter. The only thing that they'll have to show is next quarter with Inside Out 2 and obviously Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine. Strike that, reverse it. So you have to ask yourself, what's next for Disney? What's a way they could actually mount a strong comeback? Disney shares have lost about 1% this year. Now, if you go back a ways, it's a little less impressive than that, but it's still a downward trend, especially recently. Disney's delivering something, but it doesn't seem to be very magical to investors. In fact, it looks like a loss. Looks like we're going to see a bigger loss in the coming quarters, at least as far as the stocks go, because Disney seems to have disconnected from its primary audiences. So, what is the House of Mouse going to do? Hard to say, but all I know is I don't expect very much from this quarterly report, and I don't think you should either. I know that we'll all be watching over on Valiant Renegade to see what the breakdown is of all these quarterly numbers and where the gains and losses have come from, and also the analysis for what might be happening in the future. In fact, I'll definitely be in the audience along with, hopefully, each and every one of you. And I hope you found today's rough breakdown and preview somewhat useful going into tomorrow morning's call. It's very, very early in the day, so get some coffee, wake up early, make sure you set an alarm. And on top of that, do feel free to, well, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I'll appreciate that as well. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.